Well, happy Saturday, folks. The real Captain Kirk here. We're live from One Bethlehem Plaza here in downtown Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Here again, the 1st of November. It's the last day of Q3 for our big retail customers, and just about to start Q4 here. So ended on a good note for sure here. We'll talk about the U.S. world summaries here, what happened here this past week, the 2-week outlook. Before that, though, again, we got to think fall back here, unfortunately, tonight. So at 2 o'clock tonight, you got to turn those clocks back an hour, meaning a little bit more daylight in the morning and, unfortunately, very dark sunsets. We've converted our weekly video blog here that we do every week, talking both retail business and weather trends, but converted into a free email subscription service. So check out this link here. Again, get this in your inbox now every Saturday as we issue these video log updates. We're also going to change the format here a bit and every week talk more business stuff here right up front. Again, you can always jump ahead in a video to look at the 2-week outlooks, but again, going to talk our Power of 1 Degree technology and how it pretty much predicts just about everything. Seasonal sales, retail sales, ag, energy, you name it, it predicts it. Today I thought we'd talk coffee because we see some interesting trends across Japan here. So every degree colder this time of year, there's about a 2% increase in coffee sales, consumption. If it's 10 degrees colder, 20% increase. There's a downside, obviously. If it's 10 degrees hotter, you'd have about down 20%. So we'll talk about that today using Japan as an example here. They went from near record hot last year this week, week ending the 1st of November, here, end of Q3 for Japan, to this year, again, the best in 23 years. So this is a coffee index chart right here. Again, sales up about 21%. Consumption, again, as consumers get colder, right, they drink more coffee and less of the cold beverages. So again, our little AI chat feature here gives a little weather narrative, and it was pretty much spot on, predicting what happens here. The next step would be just to convert this for big businesses here. So this is kind of a week-by-week coffee sales forecast, typical of what we do for big retail supply-side customers here, predicting their sales by week, by store, by warehouse, anywhere in the world. This is a simple view. It's just the 3 state territories, again, across Japan here. So good news here on this winter forecast is January is a bright spot. December is not so good. February, softish, okay in some spots. March, pretty soft everywhere. So again, a short season would be the theme for coffee sales in terms of a year-on-year perspective. And then again, we thought, how could we convert that expensive business retail solution into something cheaper for the masses? Again, so every little coffee shop could, in theory, have a coffee cast, which is a daily email PDF report here, talking about today, this week, next week, and then more importantly, page 4, year ahead, week by week, showing greens are typically good, higher coffee sales weeks, and reds and yellows are bad. So again, it's a neat PDF report, simple to sign up here. Again, so any of the coffee shops out there, again, it's a neat daily PDF talking about how weather influences coffee consumption. Look at last week World Summer here. It ended on a very, very positive note for many areas actually across the world here. U.S. 6.5, colder than last year. So again, think coffee times 2, talking upwards of 15% increase in cold coffee sales. Colds in 5 years, 12th colds in 40 years, so below average national temperatures. Those cold 32-degree days were up over last year, most in 6 years, and it was wet, 64% wetter than last year, wettest in 4 years. Also cool there across the UK, coolest in 6 years. Europe, the coolest in 4 years. Cold down in Brazil, again, coldest in 12 years, and very wet down there for their crops going in the ground here. Big map is the trends versus last year. Again, so a cold eastern half of the country, UK, Europe, Asia. So again, any of those fall seasonal merchandise sales are doing well in those areas. Maps inset left are the trends versus average. Severe weather, won't be talking about this much longer here. We're kind of wrapping up the season, but tornadoes were down 12% versus last year, still well above average. Hail up 1% below average, and wind cases up 2% versus last year, but again, well above average. We're going to end the hurricane season here in about a month left to go here, so 29 days here. It ended with a bang here, obviously with the Cat 5 Melissa decimating the western part of Jamaica here. Very sad here, but took a direct hit. You can see the eye moving right over the western part of Jamaica here. So that put the statistics here now for the season above average in terms of major hurricanes. Hurricane days, accumulated energy of all these storms. We had several Cat 5s. As you can see, the black chart map right here, the little black areas are where it was Cat 5 briefly. So Aaron, briefly, Cat 5. A lot of East Coast storms. Again, last year, Gulf Coast. This year, we thought it'd be East Coast. We thought the East Coast would have more threats, and we had some close calls here. But again, thankfully, the U.S. has not had a landfalling hurricane, just a tropical storm, I think Chantal, earlier in the season. Looking at our snow index here and temperature indexes, so the cold days, again, ticking up a bit, up 11% for last year, still well below average. Snow days, again, just getting started here, down about 50%. Number one least in 40 years right now for the U.S. snow population index. Looking at this week ending 8th of November here, again, a little bit of a moderating trend, again, from west to east. Still remains warm in the west. About 2.4 cooler than last year, so still cooler. 10th warmest in 40 years, so above average now. Those 40-year snowfall index for the U.S. population centers is way down 93%, at least in 9 years. So not a lot of snow to talk about except for the extreme high elevations. And rainfall down this week, so down 62% drier, 12th driest in 40 years. So still some lingering showers in the eastern half of the country, but very wet. In fact, that'll be a theme here for the Pacific Northwest, Northern California here. Maps, big maps here, again, trends versus average. The little maps are trends, temperature map versus last year. Look at the 6-day snowfall. Again, not much, pretty much the Pacific Northwest, high elevations of the Rockies. First snows, again, in New England, not a lot, but again, the higher elevations will certainly get their first accumulating snow. So it'll certainly get folks thinking winter is near. Looking at next week, again, mid-November, 15 November here. Again, still cooler, 1.3 cooler than last year. Coolest in 6 years, still above average. That 40-year snowfall index is still down about 73%, and the rainfall is still down about 44% versus a year ago, but very wet, continuing the Pacific Northwest, the Midwest, Northeast. So this time of year, we like kind of cooler, drier weather as we get toward the holiday shopping season here. So cool, dry will be the theme that we need to see. Again, still seeing those trends. So again, it's a better start to Q4 for sure. If we aggregate these, again, I'm going to be careful because there's lots of ups and downs here throughout the 2-week period here, but the general theme is you see it's not as cold as it was this past week across the U.S., UK, Europe, even Asia. So a little bit of a warming trend, if you will, here across the world. Precip trends here again, so heavy snow there across the northern part of Canada and Siberia. Again, that's a weakening, in theory, the polar vortex with all that snow in Siberia that we've had. So again, this is accumulating snow and rain, and then the maps inset left there is the trends versus average. With that, folks, have a great week ahead, and again, we will talk to you again this time next week.